Welcome to Model Railroad Designs Roasts. This is the video series diving into your layout submissions with expert insights and a sprinkle of fun. Want your layout featured? Check the link down below. Let's kick things off with today's submission from Tyler. Today we have a layout that is already under construction, and by the looks of it, trains are already running. So let's go through the pictures. This is the overall view. It's a U-shape, N-scale, Cato Uni track set on tables in the middle of the room. So here on the left, we see there is some kind of coal return loop. And on the right side, we see there is staging here. And also good to note, we have a table, got some space right here to actually do some model building, which is great. Here we have a nice view on the bottom of the track flying over. Okay, we'll get back to all these pictures in a bit. He also sent some pictures from the top, so we can definitely use this. And he sent this AnyRail file, but he only got the trial version, so there's a part limit count. So you see he tried to circumvent that part limit count by using very long flex track pieces to be able to get the layout in it. So we'll just take this as a schematic and not really to scale. I would advise to actually buy the AnyRail package. Starting high level, let's zoom in. I would advise first to finish the basement. I think this is really going to become more and more inconvenient, especially as the layout proceeds. You can already see some holes in the insulation there. Our first advice would be to finish the basement, put in some comfortable flooring, make it a bit nice, a bit homey. Then once we do that, you see the layout is set on tables, and to be able, I think, to reach from this end and from that end, because it's quite deep, you need to have a space behind it here and also there behind it, also to the left to walk around. And if we finish the basement, then we can actually put the layout all the way in the corner. And you can have a little bit of a longer layout or a bigger layout because you do not need to reserve the space to walk around it. In the email, you mentioned that you got this track plan or inspiration for your track plan from my video number 176 and from that layout design that is there. Do note you can buy this actual design in my store as well with the AnyRail file, so you can just take that and cut and paste and copy as you wish. And let's have a look at that design. And we obviously all see certain elements that you took from it, which is great. It's great to see that people are using my designs for their own inspiration to make their own layout. One thing I do want to note is this is a 2 feet 24-inch bar that I made just to talk a bit about reach. You see the majority of the layout, especially everywhere where you need to reach. So that would be here, the turnouts for coupling, uncoupling, there, this industry, the industry here on the left. You see it's all well within reach to get that and to reach it, to uncouple. And even this turnout here, you can relatively easily reach if you would have a manual turnout. To see you're having electric turnout, so that makes that easier. On the right side, it's the same. That turnout is an issue, and so you can not really reach it comfortably. You can still reach it, but it's just not comfortable. And the track back here is a bit far away, and the scenery as well. So you definitely want to start building that first before you build stuff in the front. But everything here where you would uncouple and the turnouts is all relatively reachable. So switching back to your design, then this I think might be a little bit critical or semi-critical. You got an industry back there. And other than that, okay, you got a turnout here and turnout there. If nothing derails, all goes to plan, that's fine. So from that point, it's quite good. So zooming into the track a little bit further, this grade, let's start here at the bottom image. This grade right here, you can see here we have a height of, let's say, X, and it's quite gradual going down. But after you have passed this clearance, then all of a sudden we just jump up to what seems to be 2X. So this, it tells me this is a very steep section all the way from just after that bridge to here. And why is that? I guess because this turnout is here. So you see this track here also is a little bit wobbly. It seems to be going up a bit and then flat. And that is all to accommodate here this bypass track that you have that goes all the way from here to there. And of course, that bypass track is not in my design. And why is it not in my design? I also looked at it because the grade is just, it's a killer to get this grade, because that means if the point up here has to be the same height more or less as the point here, that you can only start descending here basically. And that's what we see as well. It starts gradually here and then it's relatively gradually here. It might even be a bit flat to here. And then all of a sudden, after we get clearance, we just zoom up all the way to here. Now, this might be fine because I see you're running relatively short trains, 1 engine and 8 cars. Maybe you're running it that short because it is a bit steep, or maybe it's not an issue at all. Then you might as well leave it. It's not a very chic, let's say, solution just to wiggle in this track here. I would look for a different type of solution. And I do have a solution later on. Now let's look a bit at this, let's call line diagram. We got a yard here and the yard lead and some maintenance equipment on that side. Everything pivots around this turnout and this turnout right here, these two turnouts. So that could be a bit of a choke point, but if you're running by yourself, one train, it's not really a big deal. It's quite an effective setup. The siding to accommodate for this runs all the way from here, this double crossover, to the double crossover here. So that means that will be all this length right here, blah, 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 which is long enough, I guess, to clear all this direction here. Because although the yard lead is this section right there, if you want to depart in that direction, you still need to pull the entire train out here without fouling the second part of the main line. So trains could go from here, cross over, and then to the outer track. And after you pull back, you then can go in that direction. I like this little bump out you did in the top. It's nice here in the picture. It really breaks that long, stagnant, track that comes all the way to the back. I will say this, that the diverging route of a turnout, generally speaking, of course there are exceptions, is not the main direction of travel. The main direction of travel is generally straight. So that means that turnout would have to be here, something like that. You can still follow that. But then you do introduce this S-curve, which you've actually quite nicely avoided almost everywhere. Here you avoided the S-curve. Very nice, good placement of turnout. I do the same trick several places. There is only an S-curve here, perhaps, depending how you're going. Another one here into this section. We'll get back to that in a minute. So low speed of travel. I do have a solution for that. Here could possibly be an S-curve, but you did introduce a straight section here, which is smart. I think here is the same, but that might be uncoupler or something. Doesn't matter. At least there's a straight section. It serves the purpose. Now here on the right is quite clever. The interchange. Also had it in my design. I had it here in the back. You swapped it with the industries to put it on the right. There's some good arguments for that. Yeah, actually it's nice. The only thing I would comment, if we go to the line diagram, is that these industries are all facing. So facing from that direction, that direction, that direction. The sawmill is also facing. Switch one in the other direction just to create a little bit more operational interest. Come to think of it, even the coal mine here is also facing when traveling in that direction. So yeah, definitely switch up some of the directions of the industries. The one thought I had is, do we really need all this double track mainline? It does make for a great view here, this with the bridge crossing over, but it just is a lot of track. I mean, too much track for my liking. I understand a lot of people want double track mainline, so if you really want it, just ignore what I'm going to say now. But what you could do also to make the operations a little bit more interesting is just to remove some of it. So we could leave some of it, but here, for example, we could remove the outer one, the outer track, and remove it all the way to here. So then we still have double track here on the top. And at some point, switches crossover, it goes to single track, and the other line continues to this industrial area. And also to the interchange to make that single track. We could do the same here on the left. We'll leave the double track from here all the way to about here. And then you would have the double track to split up. So one is this line right there to turn trains around, and the other one would go down. So you could get rid of this backtrack right here. Yeah, all the way to again to the siding. The last elephant in the room, at least for me, would be this coal mine. This seems a little bit forced and out of place. And I don't know, it just there's a lot of space just for the gimmick of having this loop there. But what you could do, just as an alternative, because I always like to give ideas when I don't agree with something, so not to leave people hanging, of course, is because also we have a lot of track here. So we start the mountain somewhere here. Train goes in tunnel, goes somewhere here. I'll get back to this in a minute. Here the train pops out of the tunnel, blah blah blah, in the tunnel, blah blah, and then this double track hugs the contour of the hill, and then we go into a tunnel eventually as well. So that means that all this is hidden. Apologies for my terrible mouse drawing skills. And then if we switch color to, let's say, blue, we could have a mine building like here, something like that. And you have several tracks going into the mine building as a coal mine can be. And then these tracks, they dive in underneath the mine building, which is against the hill. And the actual track itself continues here hidden as a form of staging where you could have some longer cuts of cars. So you can have one that's always full and one that's always empty. Try to swap it out a bit that way. This will look, I think, a little bit less forced and a little bit more in a natural habitat, let's say, than this loop right here. So that's an idea. And at the same time, you hide some of this track because there's a lot of track here, especially with this bypass track. It's just getting a lot of crowded. And I think you'll notice that once you do hide some of the track, then the eye will be drawn more to what is there. So the bridge, perhaps the mine, the tunnel will be a bit of a feature, tunnel entrance, and you just focus more on the relevant things that you want the viewer to focus on. It's the same on the right. You have because it's double track, you just have more track, right? So it just has a different visual impact. It also runs parallel to the back of the layout, which is not always the nicest view. So now, as a very last point, the staging, I would add just 1 or 2 more tracks. Make it like 5 tracks or 6. Yes, it will eat up a little bit more space. Perhaps we can move the desk back a little bit. But yeah, it will definitely unlock a lot more opportunity and operations on the layout itself. And that is the roast for today of this compact design. It was a lot of fun. I hope it was useful, that everyone got something out of it. Thank you all for watching. On to the next one. Bye bye.